A very warm welcome to this video. I am Prabal Frank Nandwani and we are going to discuss the monthly predictions for February 2023. First of all, let us have a look at where the planets are transiting all this month. Which are the planetary changes which are going to happen? First, we have the Sun moving on to the Aquarius sign on the 13th of February. Then we have Venus entering Pisces on the 15th of February. And we also have Mercury changing two signs. Mercury will be entering Capricorn on the 10th of February and then the Aquarius sign on the 27th of February. Now, apart from these planetary changes, there are some planetary combos which are happening this month. And first of all, we have the full moon. That means the opposition of Sun and Moon, which is happening on the 5th of February. And then the dark half is going to start, and then we are going to reach the Amavas or the new moon on the 20th of February, after which again the brighter half or the Shukla Paksh is going to start. We also have the Gaj Kesri Yoga happening on the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 9th and 10th, 16th, 17th, 22nd and the 23rd of February. We have the Mahalakshmi Yoga, which is formed by Moon and Mars on the 26th, the 27th and the 28th of February. We have the Buddha Aditya Yoga from the 7th to the 12th of February, and then again from the 27th onwards, but that will happen in the sign of Aquarius. And finally, we have the Shankh Yoga, which is made by a combination of Jupiter and Venus, which is starting from the 15th of February. Also, the gods and goddesses are showering their blessings on you in the form of Mahashivratri, which is happening on the 18th of February. What does it mean for the world? Now, the first thing is that Saturn is making a 120-degree aspect with Ketu, which basically means that there would be layoffs and the work of the world would be impeded. So we will see a lot of layoffs happening, especially till the 19th of April, when effectively the Sun will be able to cross the degrees of Ketu. Apart from it, because of the presence of Rahu in the sign of Aries and Mars not being so strong, the world will face some wars, the world will face some earthquakes, and as well as some wildfires or explosions. And this is about to happen about till May the 28th, because that is when Jupiter would cross the degree of Rahu and gain its beneficent power again. Now, all the monthly predictions which I will be giving on the basis of these zodiac signs are also influenced by the position of planets in your birth horoscope. And when I will be saying, like for example, the Aries sign, I would mean that at the time of birth, either the ascendant or the moon fell in the Aries sign, then you must watch the predictions for the Aries sign. However, in case at your birth time, the moon or ascendant fell in Virgo, then you must watch the predictions for the Virgo sign. So let us move now and discuss what are the monthly predictions of February 2023 for the Aries sign. Let us see where the planets are transiting in the horoscope of people who are born in the Aries sign first. So in your first house, we have the mischievous Rahu. In the second house, we have Mars. In the 7th house, we have Ketu. In your 9th house, we have Mercury. In your 10th house, we have the Sun. In your 11th house, we have the Saturn and placed with its friend Venus, and in the 12th house we have the beneficent Jupiter. Now, what does this placement of planets in various houses of your horoscope mean for different of your life aspects is something which we are going to discuss now. First of all, talking about our luck factor. The luck is seen from the 9th house. The owner of the 9th house is Jupiter, and it is sitting in the 12th house, which is not a very good house to sit in, although it is comfortable. So luck is favoring you 50-50. It is not very high. However, if you were If you were dealing with anything related to a foreign country, then luck is favoring you 100%. Whether it was for an education or it was foreign business or doing a long travel, luck is favoring you 100% as far as these aspects are concerned. Now moving on to your health. The health is seen from the first house, and we have the presence of Rahu for past quite many months, and it will be here till the 30th of October. And because of this, there might be some extra thinking, and there might be some digestive issues which you might be facing. And if you want to get hold of it, then you can wear some silver bracelet. You can do the Bij mantras of Rahu, which are Om Brahm Bhrim Brahm Sar Rahve Nama. Once again, Om Brahm Bhrim Brahm Sar Rahve Nama. Now moving on to your love life. Love is seen from the 5th house. The owner of the 5th house happens to be Sun, and the Sun is right now placed in the 10th house, not in a very comfortable position because it is the zone of Saturn, and after the 13th of February it will move to Aquarius, which is again the zone of Saturn, and it will also join Saturn. This is not something which is very nice. All it means is that there would be more physicality in the relationships rather than spirituality, or you might say that the offers which you get in this kind of a period are more superficial rather than too much of love oriented. Okay, moving on ahead, talking about your married life now. As far as marriage is concerned, for the past many months, Ketu has been occupying the 7th house, the marriage house, and therefore there might have been some arguments with your wife or husband in the previous months. Also, it also leads to some kind of problems to your spouse, some health problems to the spouse. And if that has been the case, then chanting the mantras, the Bij mantras of Ketu is going to be immensely helpful. And the Bij mantras of Ketu are Om Sram Srim Sram Sa Ketve Nama. Once again, Om Sram Srim Sram Sah Ketve Nama. The owner of your 7th house is Venus, which fortunately in the month of February has joined its friend Saturn, and on the 15th it will go ahead onto the Pisces sign and join Jupiter. Now this gives a little bit of relief. So if the relationships had been on a back burner in the previous months, then in this month they are going to be back again on the saddle. So February offers you better prospects in your marital relationships. Let's move on and talk about your education now. Education is seen from the 5th house, and the owner of the 5th house, Sun, is not in a comfortable position. Because it is not in a comfortable position and it is with tamasic planets of Saturn and Venus, therefore it is going to create some kind of distractions. You have to study but you want to see the movie. You have to study but you want to go and see the new phone which has been launched and buy that now. So all these things are going to distract you. And if you want your concentration back on, then you can do the Bij mantras of Sun, which are Om Ram Rim Ram Sa Suryaya Nama. Also, you can donate wheat. Alright, moving on ahead and talking about your career now. The career is seen from the 10th house, and the 10th lord is wonderfully placed in the 11th house with its friend Venus. This is a good combination, and because of this combination, you are going to gain in business, you're going to gain in your career. However, the Ketu is causing a little bit of problem till the 19th of April, but the prospects are now better. So in the previous months, you were facing some hiccups, but now those hiccups will go away and you will have new offers, you will have new projects to work on. Moving on and now talking about the business. Business is seen from the 7th house, but Ketu's presence in the 7th house has taken some customers away from you. The customers went away because of your inflexibility in attitude. Maybe that you said that why should I go and drop the goods? It is your duty. Why should not I hike the prices when the raw material prices have been hiked? Why should I give you an extra benefit, etc. So if you can be polite, if you can act magnanimously, if you can be large-hearted, then this is a good time for you. Otherwise, because of your inflexibility, I see some kind of losses occurring in the business, like for example, some people or some clients just moving away to some other competitors. Now talking about wealth. Now this is a very good time for earning wealth, but through self-efforts, because Mars is occupying the second house and it is owner of the ascendant or the first house, and therefore through self-efforts you can open new frontiers to earn more wealth. Since Jupiter occupies the 12th house, it means that it is good for the father. It is a good time for the father. It also means that if case you are planning for long travels, or then this is the right time, and also you'll be spending money on the right causes, like the religious causes, buying some things which you really need, or which your son or daughter needs, or which your wife needs, or which your father and mother need. So expenditure, but expenditure for self-improvement is on the cards as far as Aries sign individuals are concerned. Now let us move on to the Taurus sign. Where are the planets transiting in the month of February 2023 for people who have the Taurus sign is something which we will first see. So in your first house we have Mars, in your 6th house we have Ketu, in your 8th house we have Mercury, in your 9th house we have Sun, in your 10th house we have the combination of Saturn and Venus, in your 11th house we have the beneficent Jupiter, and in the 12th house we have Rahu. Now what does all of this planetary placement in various of your horoscopes houses mean for various life aspects is something which we are going to discuss right ahead. Talking about the luck factor. The luck is seen from the 9th house. In the 9th house we have Sun. Also the 9th lord has gone to the 10th house along with its friend Venus, and the magnificent Jupiter is also in the 11th house. So this is a good time for you. Luck is favoring you 100%. If you were thinking of doing something big, of implementing something which is very important for you, then this is the right time. If you were thinking of starting a business, if you were thinking of starting a course, if you were thinking of taking an important decision, then this is the right time for you. Talking about your health now. Mars is occupying the ascendant, and Sun is having a 120-degree aspect to the ascendant, which means the heat in the body will be little increased. You need to cool down your tempers. You need to be careful about the food which you eat, because it might cause a little a headache here and there. So the food has to be consistent. You don't have to miss on your diet in the afternoon or in the evening, because that will cause acidity and it might lead to some kind of a headache issue, but not much, since Jupiter is there in the 11th house, and also Venus will be joining from the 15th of February. So overall health is going to remain good. Talking about your love life now. Love is seen from the 5th house, and the owner of the 5th house is Mercury, and Mercury is currently in the 8th house, but it will go to the 9th house from the 10th till the 27th of February. Therefore love is going to come to the forefront after the 10th of February. Before this, it is not a good time, but from the 10th onwards, it is a very good time. If you have to give some proposals, do it after the 10th of February. Moving ahead now and talking about your marital life. Marriage is seen from the 7th house, and the owner of the 7th house happens to be Mars, and Mars is looking at its own house at the entire month, and therefore the marital relationships are going to be nice, especially since Jupiter is also having a 120-degree aspect to the 7th house. So enjoy your marital bliss this month. Moving ahead and talking about your education, which is seen from the 5th house. So from the 10th till the 27th, the educational prospects are good. If you are looking in to take some examinations, to take some admissions, then it is a good period to do so from the 10th to the 27th of February. Moving on to your career now. The career is seen from the 10th house. The owner of the 10th house is Saturn, and which is sitting in the 10th house along with its wonderful friend Venus, and therefore career is taking an improvement. This is the time for a promotion. This is the time of gaining the things which you want to do. So for example, there was a project you ever wanted to do, then this is the time. This is also the time where you might get a pay raise. Therefore, it is a good time as far as career prospects are concerned. In case you were thinking of changing a job in order to earn more, then February 2023 says yes, go for it. Next is business. Now business is seen from the 7th house, and Mars is seeing its own house, the 7th house, all this month. So there would be good opportunities, and the 11th, that means the profit-making house, is also occupied by Jupiter, which means there would be new opportunities and you can capitalize on the opportunities and earn more profits all through February 2023. There is a word of caution though. Rahu has been in the 12th house now for quite some time. And if this has caused, for example, if this has caused a high BP problem, or if it has caused high expenditure, or if it has caused major electronic devices getting kaput and you spending a lot of money in order to make them okay, or the electricity bills coming a lot higher, then you can chant the Bij mantras of Rahu, which are Om Bhram Bhrim Bhram Sar Rahve Nama. And in case it is taking a toll on your health, then you can donate jaw, which is kind of a staple wheat, a staple crop, and equal to the body weight. So this is what you can do as far as getting out of a bad health is concerned. Moving on now to the Gemini sign. Let us first of all see where the planets are transiting in your horoscope all this month. We have the Ketu traveling in your 5th house, we have Mercury traveling in your 7th house, the Sun traveling in your 8th house, Saturn and Venus traveling in your 9th house, in your 10th house we have Jupiter, and in your 11th house we have Rahu, and finally in the 12th house we have Mars. What does all this planetary placement in various of your horoscopes houses mean for different life aspects is something which we are going to see in detail right away. Let us see the luck first. So luck is seen from the 9th house, and the owner of the 9th house is comfortably placed in the 9th house along with its childhood buddy friend Venus, and therefore luck is on the high. It is favoring you 100%. If you were thinking of doing something important, then yes, this is the time to do it. Especially, it is going to increase further, because right now there is a little bit of problem being given by Ketu, but from the 19th of April onwards that will also be gone, and therefore you are going to receive full support as far as fortune is concerned. And if there has been any important decision on your mind which has to be taken, if there has been any new project on your mind that has to be started, then these times are wonderful, blessed times for doing so. Now let us move on to your health. Health is seen from the 1st house. The owner of the 1st house happens to be Mercury, which is watching its own house till the 10th of February. Then it is going to move to the 8th house from the 10th to the 27th of February, and it will also form a combination with Mars, which means there might be some kind of nerve related issues, there can be some allergies, there can be some skin issues, so you need to be a little careful. And if there are these kind of problems, then you can do either Mars Bij mantras or Mercury's Bij mantras. The Bij mantras of Mars are Om Krang Kring Krong Sah Bhamay Nama, and the Bij mantra of Mercury is Om Bram Brim Brom Sabuddhaya Nama. I have made separate videos on how to pronounce these particular Bij mantras in detail on my YouTube channel. Moving ahead now and talking about your love life. Now, the love house is the 5th house and it is occupied by Ketu, and therefore there might have been some disagreements between you and your loved partner. But the February 2023 offers a very good scope of getting back your love partner, because the 5th house is being watched by its owner Venus till the 15th of February. So therefore, if you were facing a situation in which you had lost your love partner and you want to get him or her back, then kindly try your best before the 15th of February, when luck is supporting you in this particular cause. The second thing is, if somebody is not agreeing to your request, then you can do Ketu's Bij mantras, which are Om Sram Srim Srom Sa Ketve Nama. Once again, Om Sram Srim Srom Sa Ketve Nama. Moving ahead now and talking about your marital relations. Now, the house of marriage is the 7th house, and it is occupied by the planet Mercury till the 10th of February. After that, there will be no planet here, but it is forming a 120-degree aspect with Rahu, and Rahu is not very comfortably placed in the 11th house, and therefore there might be some suspicions which have taken over, some vision being clouded as far as your marital relations are concerned. There might be some miscommunication which might be a cause of dissent between you and your spouse. If that has been the case, then just chant some of the Bij mantras of Rahu, which is Om Brahm Brim Brahm Sar Rahu Nama, or any other mantra of Rahu which you might get from the internet, and that will help you solve this problem. Moving ahead now and talking about your career prospects. Now, career is seen from the 10th house, and the 10th lord is sitting comfortably in the 10th house, and therefore it is a good time because the luck is also favoring you and the work is also favoring you, and therefore you need to go all out to do something new. This is the time for gaining new jobs. It is the time for gaining promotions. It is the time of exploring new lines. So for example, you are into administration, but you wanted to go into PR. Fine, this is the right time. You will be blessed. You will gain the support of fortune. Let's talk about your education now. Now, since the Ketu is present in the 5th house, which is the house of education, it causes a little bit of deviation. So you might not be very satisfied with what you are doing because of the presence of Ketu here. But since Venus is seeing, Ketu has been present here for the past many months and will be present here for the next few months as well. But this particular month, till the 15th of February, Venus, which is the lord of the 5th house, is also aspecting the 5th house, and therefore if there were some examinations which you wanted to take, or some admissions which you were looking forward to, then it is a good time before the 15th of February to do so. Talking about your business now. Business is again seen from the 7th house, and the lord of the 7th house is there in the 10th house, which means it is a good time as far as business is concerned. If you were looking in to increase your product lines, to change some product lines, to explore some new territories, this is a good time. You might gain some new customers even by advertising, but that advertising needs to be done before the 10th of February. From the 10th till the 27th of February, just avoid doing expenditure on advertisement. And let's talk a little about wealth. It is a good time to build wealth because Jupiter and Venus will be together in the 10th house from the 15th of Feb, and they will be aspecting the 4th house. So in case you were thinking of purchasing some important things at home, for example, a new bed, a new cupboard, or a new television, whatever, something which gives you comfort, this is the time to go for that kind of a purchase. Moving on and talking about the sign of Cancer. First of all, let us see where the planets are transiting all this month of February 2023 in your horoscope. Well, in the 4th house we have Ketu, in your 6th house we have Mercury, in your 7th house we have the Sun, in your 8th house we have Saturn and Venus, in your 9th house we have Jupiter, in your 10th house we have Rahu, and in your 11th house we have Mars. Now, what does the planetary placement in various of your houses mean for various life aspects is something which we are going to discuss right ahead. First, let us talk about the luck factor. The luck is seen from the 9th house, and the owner of the 9th house is sitting in the 9th house, and it is very comfortably sitting there, and therefore luck is favoring you 100%. If there were any important decisions which you would have thought of taking, then this is the right time. So if you were waiting for a right time to initiate some new relationships, to initiate some new business ventures, to initiate certain new courses, then luck is favoring you 100%. Please go ahead and just do it. Next, let us talk about your health. As far as your health is concerned, it is seen from the Ascendant, and Jupiter is forming a very, very nice aspect to the Ascendant, and therefore the health is going to remain nice. It is going to, the immunity power is going to be there, and I don't see anything too bad happening as far as health is concerned. However, since Mercury, that is the 12th lord, will be watching your ascendant from the 10th till the 27th of February. Therefore, if you face some issues related to allergies or getting some communicable diseases, like for example, there might be cold around and you might catch cold, these kind of things, then just do Durga Chalisa every day, read it once in the morning, and you will see that your health starts to get better. Talking about your love life now. Love life is seen from the 5th house. The owner of the 5th house happens to be Mars, which is aspecting its own house the entire month, and therefore the prospects of love are very nice. Jupiter is also supporting. If you were planning to give proposals to some people, it's wonderful. You might also get some proposals this month. It is time to enjoy with your love partner. Moving ahead and talking about your marital relationships. Marriage is seen from the 7th house, and in the 7th house we have Sun, which is the owner of the 2nd house, which is good, but it is going to be there till the 13th. But from the 10th till the 27th, Mercury is going to come in, and once Mercury comes in, since it is a 12th lord, there might be some kind of arguments because of some communication. Something you were supposed to say, you did not say. Something you said which you were not supposed to say. And all these things tend to create some kind of miscommunication with your partner. This might be the case. So the first thing to do is not focus upon what the third person has said. So in your relationship, let not the opinion of third people come in between you and your spouse. This is number one. Number two, if there is no third party intervention, however, some doings of your own self have caused the problem, of your spouse has caused the problem, then you just have to chant the Mercury's Bij mantra, that is Om Brahm Brim Brahm Sa Buddhaya Nama. Moving ahead and talking about your educational prospects now, which appear to be just amazing all this month, because the 5th house is being aspect by the 5th lord Mars, and also having a 120 degree, which is a good aspect by Jupiter from the 9th house. And therefore, if you give some examinations, then you're going to get good numbers. So you plan for 80%, you get 90%. So you get disproportionate result, and that too in the positive on the positive side. Talking about your career now. Career is seen from the 10th house, and Rahu is occupying the 10th house, and it is not comfortable, and therefore you might receive some miscommunication from somebody, some false notices, some false accusations, because it is making a 120 degree aspect with Mercury till the 10th of February. So you need to be a little wary, a little careful about any kind of backbiting as far as career is concerned, especially your colleagues and your juniors. Do not say bad things about your seniors or about any other thing with them, because this might boomerang on you. Be a little careful. Moving ahead and talking about your business now. The business is seen from the 7th house, which will be occupied with the 12th lord from the 10th of February till the 27th of February, which will be a good sign. But the lord of the 7th house has gone to the 8th house, and Venus is also in the 8th house, and therefore it is not a very good time as far as business is concerned. It is not a good time to invest in new proposals. It is not a good time to go out and explore new territories. The money will be wasted. And therefore, it is far better if you can wait, watch, and then invest with a lot of skepticism, little by little by little. As there was this movie Entrapment, in which there was this famous dialogue: first we try, then we trust. So try. If you find good result, only then put in more investment. However, if you are in any kind of business like insurance business, detective business, mining business, then time is very good for you. The whole year is very, very, very nice for you. Let's move on now and talk about the Leo sign. First of all, let us see where the planets are transiting all this February 2023 in your horoscope. Well, in your third house we have Ketu, in your fifth house we have Mercury, in your sixth house we have Sun, in your seventh house we have Saturn and Venus, in your eighth house we have Jupiter, in your ninth house we have Rahu, and in your 10th house we have Mars. Now, what does all this planetary placement mean for various aspects of your life is something which we are going to discuss right ahead. First of all, let us talk about the destiny factor. Destiny is seen from the ninth house, and the ninth house is occupied by the mischievous Rahu, and Rahu is not very comfortable because it is the sign of Mars, that is Aries over there, and therefore luck is little on the lower side. But don't worry, all it means is that you have to put more efforts and you get a little less. So put more efforts. And if there are certain important decisions to be taken, just defer them a little. Moving on and talking about your health. The health is seen from the first house. The owner of the first house happens to be Sun, and the Sun is located in the sixth house. Not a very good sign. Also, the ascendant is being aspected by Saturn. This is also not a good sign. So you need to be careful regarding your health, not only in this month, but for a few more months as well. And especially after the 13th of February, when Sun moves on and is then affected by Saturn. So what can you do? What you can do is you can chant the Bij mantras of Sun, which is Om Hram Hrim Ram Sa Suryaya Nama, Om Hram Hrim Ram Sa Suryaya Nama. Also what you can do is donate wheat equal to the weight of your body, especially on a Saturday. Now let us talk about your marital aspects. Now marriage is seen from the 7th house, and the 7th lord is in the 7th house along with the god of love, Venus, and therefore this is a very, very good time as far as marital relationships are concerned. There would be a good camaraderie, good loving relationship between you and your spouse all this month and also in the months to come. Moving ahead and talking about your education now. Education is seen from the 5th house, and the 5th house is being occupied by Mercury, which is the 11th lord, but is also aspected by Rahu, which gives a little bit of distraction. So you have to maintain your focus. Try right up in the morning to write that I'm going to maintain my focus. Write your to-do list in the morning, what you need to do, what you need to study, which chapters you have to do every day before sleeping and after getting up. This is how you can maintain your focus, which is very important for the month of February 2023 because Rahu is watching it. What? The 5th house. Alright, moving ahead and talking about now your career prospects. The career is seen from the 10th house. The 10th house is occupied by Mars, and the 10th lord is comfortably placed in the 7th house till the 15th of February. So till the 15th of February, everything is very nice as far as career is concerned. After that, Venus moves on to the 8th house and meets Jupiter. What it basically means is you might get some work which you really don't want to do, but the conditions will be nice, only it will be a little distasteful. That might happen. Moving ahead and let's talk about your business now. The business is seen from the 7th house. The 7th house is guarded very well, especially till the 13th of February when the Sun moves in. But even after the Sun moves in, it is a good time because Sun happens to be the Ascendant Lord, so it has to help you in order to grow. So business is good as far as February is concerned, but this is going to become better after the 19th of April when Saturn moves out of the problems of Ketu from a 120-degree aspect which is happening right now. Also, it is a very good time for all the politicians or any person who's looking forward to any kind of position, because now there will be a combination of Ketu, Sun and Saturn, which helps a person in order to gain a position. So if you are in politics, then a political position. If you're not in politics but you are in service means seva, or in an NGO, then for example the Lions Club, the Inner Wheel Club, then you might gain a position over there. So if you want to increase your luck factor though, you just have to do the Bij mantras of Rahu. Om Bhram Bhrim Bhram Sah Rahve Nama. So let's move on to the Virgo sign. First of all, let us see where the planets are transiting in your horoscope in the month of February 23. So, in your 4th house, we have Mercury. In your 5th house, we have Sun. In your 6th house, we have the combination of Saturn and Venus. In your 7th house, we have Jupiter. In your 8th house, we have Rahu. In your 9th house, we have Mars. And in your 2nd house, we have Ketu. What does all this mean for various aspects of your life? This is what we are going to see right ahead. First of all, let us talk about the luck factor. The luck is seen from the 9th house, and the 9th lord is Venus, who is very comfortably seated with its friend Saturn and is moving towards the 7th house to meet Jupiter. So luck is favoring you. If you were thinking of doing something important in your life, if you had to take some important decision in your life, then this is the right time to do so. Moving ahead and talking about your health, the health is seen from the 1st house, and the owner of the 1st house is Mercury, which is sitting in the 4th house, and from 10th to 27th of February in the 5th house, and later on in the 6th house with its friend Saturn. So it is broadly a good time as far as health is concerned. Moving on to your love life now. Love life is seen from the 5th house, and until the 13th of February, Sun is placed in the 5th house, which is the 12th lord. So there might be a little bit of arguments as far as love life is concerned. However, broadly, it is a good time as far as love relations are concerned. Let's move on to marriage now. Talking about marriage, we have to see the 7th house, and in the 7th house we have the presence of Jupiter in its own sign. So it is good for the profession of the spouse, for the health of the spouse, and for marital harmony in general. Moving ahead now and talking about your education. Education is seen from the 5th house, and the 5th lord is sitting in the 6th house. Not a bad sign. And Sun, the 12th lord, is sitting till the 13th of February in the 5th house. Now this is causing a little distraction, so after the 13th it is a good time as far as education is concerned. Moving ahead and talking about your career now. The career is seen from the 10th house, and your 10th house is owned by Mercury, and Mercury is looking at its own house till the 10th of February, so career is good. And even after that, it is moving on to the Saturn's domain, that is the sign of Capricorn and Aquarius. So largely this is a good month as far as career is concerned. Lastly, let us talk about business. Now business also has Jupiter, the 7th house of business has Jupiter in it, and therefore it is a good time for business as well. So for Virgo signs, this is a blessed time in general. Let us move on and talk about the Tula or the Libra sign now. Well, in the horoscope, in the month of 2023 February, we have the planetary placements like so. In your 1st house we have Ketu, in your 3rd house we have Mercury, in your 4th house we have Sun, in your 5th house we have Saturn and Venus, in your 6th house we have Jupiter, in your 7th house we have Rahu, and in the 8th house we have Mars. What does all this planetary placement mean for various of your life aspects is something which we are going to discuss in detail right away. Luck is seen from the 9th house, and the lord of the 9th house is Mercury, which is watching its own house, especially till the 10th of February. After that, it will move on and be in a comfortable position for the rest of the month as well. And therefore, luck is favoring you. If there are certain important things which you need to do, then just do them. Health. Health is taken a back seat for the past few months because Ketu has been there. So if you are facing a little lethargy or little pain or some fatigue in the legs or in the feet, then you can chant Ketu's Bij mantras, Om Sram Srim Sram Sa Ketve Nama, or you can donate till or sesame seeds. But this month is going to prove a little better because the owner of the Ascendant is in the 5th house. That means it is creating a 120-degree aspect with the Ascendant, and also it is in conjunction with its friend Saturn. So largely speaking, If you have been facing bad health, then this is the month from where the health will start to improve, especially till the 15th of February. Moving ahead and talking about your love life. The love life is doing very well all this month because Saturn has come to Aquarius, not only this month but in the months ahead as well. You will have a better love life. In case you were thinking of proposing someone, this is the right time. It is also the right time to receive proposals and go ahead and just enter into new relationships. Moving ahead and talking about your marital life now. So Rahu is there in your 7th house, the house of marriage, which means because of some suspicions, because of third party influence, because of some things which you wrongly said, there might be some problems in your marital relationships for the past few months, because Rahu has been there for the past few months and it will stay here for the next few months as well, especially till the 30th of October. However, after April, when Jupiter enters this sign, things are going to become better. For now, if you have been facing turbulent times as far as marriage is concerned, then go to Bhairav temple every Saturday and just chant the Bij mantras of Rahu, Om Brahm Brim Brahm Sar Rahve Nama. Talking about your education now. The educational prospects look to be very nice because education is seen from the 5th house and Saturn is there giving you a lot of focus and a lot of concentration power. So you will be able to study well and get good grades and get through any kind of examinations which you undertake to. Next, let us talk about your career. Now, the career is seen from the 10th house. And the 10th house is forming a very, very good relationship with Jupiter, which is sitting in the 6th house at a 120-degree distance. Also, Venus is going to join in from the 15th of February. So, this promises to be a very good time as far as career is concerned. Now, let us talk about business. Business is seen from the 7th house. Now, it will run with hiccups. You go and then you stop. You go and then you stop. You go and then you stop. Why? Because in the 7th house we have Rahu, which is not at all comfortably placed there. Apart from that, it is also making a relationship with Mercury, especially till the 10th of February. All it basically means is there would then be some kind of deception. So if you're receiving a new proposal regarding business, a new transaction, a new business proposal, then take it with a pinch of salt. There might be something more than is meeting your eye. Try and just figure out whether it will be okay for you to supply the goods to this particular new person who's come in this particular time period, because this time period shows that some people with only form and no substance are going to enter your business, and then you are going to face some deceptive proposals. And in case you have already faced that kind of a situation, then pray to Lord Narasimha, visit Lord Narasimha's temple, or do the Bij mantras of Rahu and Mars, and this will help you to come out of the situation, business situation in which you are in. Let's move on to the Scorpio sign now. First of all, let us see where the planets are transiting all this month of February 2023 in your horoscope. Well, we have Mercury in the 2nd house, Sun in the 3rd house, and in the 4th house we have the combination of Saturn and Venus. In the 5th house we have Jupiter, the 6th house Rahu, the 7th house Mars, and in the 12th house we have Ketu. What does all this mean for various of your life aspects? It's something that we are going to see now. Luck is seen from the 9th house, and the 9th house is aspected by 120 degrees by Jupiter. So this is a very good sign. Luck is favoring you. If you had to take some important decisions in your life, then this time is conducive. Moving ahead and talking about your health now. Health is seen from the 1st house. The owner of the 1st house, Mars, is looking at the 1st house for the entire month, and therefore February holds good prospects for your health. Let's move on to your love life. In the 5th house we have Jupiter. It gives you new love opportunities. You might receive some nice proposals, and in case you were looking forward to give one to someone, the time is very nice. For those who are already in love, this is a time to make merry and enjoy yourselves. Talking about marriage now. Marriage is seen from the 7th house. In the 7th house, we have the presence of Mars all throughout this month. Also, Sun is aspecting by 120 degree the 7th house, which basically means that there might be some little incidences of arguments, and if you can hold the tempers down, this month will pass away smoothly. Moving ahead and talking about your education. Education is seen from the 5th house, and the owner of the 5th house is sitting in the 5th house. It also happens to be a natural significator of education, Jupiter, and therefore this month holds very nice prospects as far as education is concerned. Even a few months ahead are also very nice. So if you were planning on to take an admission in some new course, it is a good time. If you were planning to take some important examination, it is a good time again. Whatever you expect, you'll get a little more in the result. Let's move ahead and let's talk about now your career prospects. Career is seen from the 10th house. However, the owner of the 10th house, Sun, is currently not very comfortably placed, and neither will it be placed very comfortably after the 13th of February when it is going to enter the Aquarius sign, which means that career is on a hold. However, if you are in politics, then it is a nice time because Sun will meet Saturn and it will have a 120 degree of Ketu. So for politics or for occupying any position, like in a club, if you are in a club like the Inner Wheel Club or the Rotary Club, the Lions Club, or some other club like this, then it is a good time. Luck is supporting you to gain a position, but otherwise it is a little on the low side. You have to prevent from getting involved in any kind of politics, and don't leave your job unless you find another one. Now let's move on to the business prospects. Business is seen from the 7th house, and the 7th lord is Venus, which is comfortably placed throughout this month and the next as well, and therefore it shows that there are some big deals which might fall in your way, and you might be profiting from those new bigger deals. Moving ahead and now talking about the Sagittarius sign. Let us first of all see where the planets are transiting all the month of February 2023 in your horoscope. Well, in your ascendant we have Mercury, in your 2nd house we have the Sun, in your 3rd house we have Saturn and Venus, in your 4th house we have Jupiter, in your 5th house we have Rahu, in your 6th house we have Mars, and in your 11th house we have Ketu. What does all this planetary movement in your horoscope mean for various of your life aspects is something which we are going to discuss in detail right away. First, we are going to talk about your luck factor. Luck is seen from the 9th house, and the 9th lord is Sun, but Sun is not very well placed this entire month, and therefore luck is not favoring you much. Also, Ketu is aspecting from 120 degree the Aquarius sign, where the Sun is going to enter from the 13th of February, and therefore you'll have to do a little more effort to gain the things which you want to gain. And if there are some important decisions to be taken, they should be postponed to 1 or 2 months ahead. Talking about your health now. Health is seen from the ascendant, and the ascendant lord is comfortably placed in the 4th house in the Pisces sign, and therefore health is going to remain largely very nice. Let's talk about your love life now. Love is seen from the 5th house, and we have the presence of Rahu over there. That means you might come into contact with a new person who's from out of caste. You might also get dubious people in your love life, and it is not a very good time to get a genuine relationship going unless and until it is an out of caste relationship, in which case there are possibilities that the relationship might be a genuine relationship. Moving ahead and talking about your marital relationships. Now, marriage is seen from the 7th house, and the owner of the 7th house, Mercury, is seeing its own house till the 10th of February. So till the 10th of February, the relationships are going to run very smoothly. After that also, for the entire month, Mercury will be placed nicely, and therefore the marital relations will be smooth. Moving ahead, and let's talk about your education now. Education is seen from the 5th house. Rahu's presence there causes distractions and deviations. So while I'm studying one subject, I'm attracted to another subject. Somebody has given me a book, I want to read that book as well. Or there are certain other things, my friends and my boyfriends and girlfriends, so they might take more priority than the studies. So in case you have something important coming up and you're not able to concentrate because of the distractions happening around you, then wear a gomed or do the Bij mantras of Rahu. Om Brahm Brim Brahm Sa Rahve Nama. Now let's talk about your career. Career is seen from the 10th house, and Jupiter is aspecting the 10th house all of this month, and therefore it is a good time as far as career is concerned. I look and find that you might gain some kind of a promotion. I look and find that you might gain some kind of a boss who likes you and likes your works, applauds your work. It is a very good time for people who are in the HR field, in the counseling field, and if you are looking to get a job, then this is the right time to apply for one. Moving ahead and talking about business now. The business is seen from the 7th house, and the 7th lord is placed wonderfully well the entire months. Also, Saturn, which is the natural significator of any kind of work, is very comfortably placed for the next few months, and therefore it is a good time if you were thinking of doing some new business, then this is the right time. If you were trying to explore some new products or new territories, then this is the right time. Moreover, after the 19th of April, when the problem of Ketu, which is now casting a 120-degree aspect on Saturn, is concerned, when that after the 19th of April, even promises to be better. Still, even if you want to do right away, it is a good time. Moving ahead now and talking about the Capricorn sign. First of all, let us see where the planets are transiting in your horoscope all the month of February 2023. Well, we have Saturn transiting the 2nd house. We have Sun in your ascendant. We have the Jupiter in your 3rd house. In your 4th house, we have Rahu. In the 5th house, we have Mars. In the 10th house, we have Ketu. And in the 12th house, we have the presence of Mercury. What does all this planetary positioning mean for various of your life aspects is something which we are going to discuss in detail right away. First of all, let us talk about the luck factor. The luck is seen from the 9th house, and the 9th lord in your case happens to be Mercury, which is sitting in the 12th house, which is not a very good sign, but not very bad either, because after the 10th it will move on to the ascendant and then to the 2nd house along with its friend Saturn, which means after the 10th of February the fortune is going to rise. So if there were any important decisions which you have to take, then do it after the 10th of February. Now let's talk about your health. Health is seen from the ascendant, and the ascendant lord is comfortably placed. There is a little bit of hiccup because Saturn, the 8th lord, is occupying the ascendant till the 13th of February. However, it is not a major thing, and in case some of you face any problems related to fevers or headaches or general body fatigue, then doing the Bij mantras of Sun is going to be immensely helpful for you. And the Bij mantras of Sun are Om Hram Hrim Hrom Sa Suryaya Nama. Om Hram Hrim Hrom Sa Suryaya Nama. To listen to this again and to get hold of the correct pronunciation, you can watch a separate video on my YouTube channel and speak along with it. Okay, let's move ahead and talk about your love life now. The love is seen from the 5th house, and the 5th house is occupied by the 11th lord Mars, which is a good sign. So as far as the month of February is concerned, the prospects of love are nice. Especially Jupiter is in the 3rd house, so there is going to be a good communication, and if you were looking in for proposing somebody, then this is also a right time. Moving ahead and talking about your marital aspects now. As far as marriage is concerned, Jupiter is casting a 120-degree aspect on the 7th house, which is a nice thing, but since Sun, the 8th house, is also seeing the 7th house, therefore you just have to wait for a few more days, that is from the 13th of February, when the Sun moves on to the Aquarius sign, and from then onwards the marital relationships will be smoother. Moving ahead now and talking about your education. Education is seen from the 5th house, and the lord of the 5th house is Venus, which is sitting very comfortably throughout the entire month, and therefore the educational prospects are very nice. In fact, they are so good that if you were thinking of taking some examinations, then you are going to gain more marks than expected. Also, if you were trying to get admission in a college, then you can get admitted to a better college than what you thought about. Moving ahead and talking about your career prospects now. In your career house, we have the presence of Ketu, which is not a very good sign, and therefore you might be a little disappointed with your career, and you might be thinking of changing the career, but it is not a good time. You need to hold your horses. You need to first find a new job, a better one, and then leave the present job, not now. Also, the owner of the 10th house is Venus, which will be joining after the 15th of February, and it will be joining Jupiter in the 3rd house, which means that if after the 15th you apply for a new job, you might be able to get it. Moving ahead and now talking about your business. Business is seen from the 7th house. The 7th lord happens to be Moon, and the 7th house is also seen by Jupiter, and from the 15th from Venus as well. It means it is a very good time for business. If there are certain new proposals, some new transactions, some bigger transactions, just do them and you will earn a lot of profit. February 2023 promises good business profits and good business prospects for you. Moving on and talking about the Aquarius sign now. Let us first of all see where the planets are transiting all this month in your horoscope. In your ascendant, we have Saturn and Venus. In the 2nd house, we have Jupiter. In the 3rd house, we have Rahu. In the 4th house, we have Mars. In your 9th house, we have Ketu. And in your 11th house, we have Mercury. Finally, in the 12th house, we have Sun. What does all this planetary placement mean for various of your life aspects is something which we are going to discuss right ahead. First of all, let us talk about luck. Luck is seen from the 9th house. In the 9th house, we have the presence of Ketu. This is not a good indicator, but this has been so for the past few months. And therefore, if the luck has been on a little downside, then I have good news for you, because the owner of the 9th house is this month traveling in the ascendant and forming a 120-degree aspect. And even in the next month, it is going to meet Jupiter. Therefore, these 2 months are going to be better as far as your destiny factor is concerned, your luck is concerned. So the luck is going to now increase. Let's move ahead and talk about your health. Health is seen from the 1st house, and the 1st house is guarded with the presence of the 9th lord as well as the presence of the ascendant lord, and therefore you are going to remain healthy unless and until you might have certain bad combination in your horoscope. For example, like having a Mars or having Rahu or having Sun in your 1st house in your birth horoscope. Alright, let's move ahead and talk about your love life. Love life is seen from the 5th house, and owner of your 5th house is Mercury, and it is seeing its own house till the 10th of February. So till the 10th of February, love is very nice. From the 10th and 27th, a little less, and again back on the saddle from the 27th. So if you were planning to give some proposals, either do it before the 10th or after the 27th. That will be a good time. Moving ahead and talking about the marital life. Marital life is seen from the 7th house, and the owner of the 7th house is in the 12th house. Your spouse might be facing a little bit of bad health, or your marital relationships might be a little on the back burner, and things seem to be getting better after about 1.5 months of time. When Sun enters Pisces, then things are going to get better. Before that, if things are not working very fine for you, then please chant Saturn's Bij mantra Om Prang Pring Prong Sa Shanischaraya Nama 108 times every day, every morning once. Moving ahead and talking about education now. Education is seen from the 5th house. The owner of the 5th house happens to be Mercury, and it is well placed till the 10th of February, and again after the 27th it will be well placed. So if you were planning to take some examinations, to go in for some new courses, to take admissions, then there is a good time before the 10th of February and after the 27th of February. However, in case you are planning to study abroad or take some examinations which are related to going abroad, like the IELTS or the GRE or the GMAT, etc., then the whole of February offers tremendous opportunities and luck for you. Let's talk about your career now. The career is seen from the 10th house, and the owner of the 10th house is aspecting the 10th house all this month, and therefore career is looking to be good, especially since Jupiter is also casting a 120-degree aspect to the 10th house. Moving ahead and let's talk about your business now. Business is seen from the 7th house, and Lord of 7th house Sun going in the 12th house and then going even into the Ascendant from the 13th of February and joining Saturn is not a very good sign, especially till the 13th of February, after which Saturn is going to support your business endeavors because it is a natural significator of business. So any important business meetings, any important business decisions, any important business proposals, any important business transactions need to be entered after the 13th of February. And one more thing, while we are talking about business, is that after the 19th of April, the business will start to become even better. This whole year 2023 proposes or gives you enough chances of business growth. Let's talk a little about the wealth now, because Jupiter is occupying the sign of Pisces, and that happens to be your 2nd house. So it is a good time for accumulation of wealth. That means you might do something which might bring wealth to you. You might enter into a property transaction. The property might just inflate. The value of the property might just go up in exorbitantly, and you might just gain. You might go for buying of gold, and that might increase and you might gain. So something is going to happen which is going to give you tremendous amount of gain this year. Moving ahead, and let's talk about the Pisces sign now. First of all, let us see where the planets are placed in your horoscope throughout the month of February 2023. Well, in your 1st house we have Jupiter, in your 2nd house we have Rahu, in your 3rd house we have Mars, and in your 8th house we have Ketu, in your 10th house we have Mercury, in your 11th house we have Sun, and in your 12th house we have Saturn and Venus. What does all this planetary placement mean for various of your life aspects is something which we are going to see right ahead. First of all, let us talk about the luck factor. The luck is seen from the 9th house. The owner of the 9th house is watching the 9th house. Mars from the sign of Taurus is watching Scorpio all this month, and therefore luck is favoring you. Luck is high. You need to take some important decisions. You wanted to take them, do it now. Regarding health. Health is seen from the 1st house, and Jupiter is comfortably placed in the 1st house. Therefore, health is going to be good. Let's talk about your love life now. Love is seen from the 5th house, and 5th house is being aspected by the 6th Lord Sun. There might have been, in some of your cases, some separation between the love partners. And if that has been the case, then the good thing is that after the 15th of February, this is going to die down. Also, there are chances of your love partner coming back to you because there is beneficence showering upon you from Jupiter at a distance of 120 degree, sitting right in the Ascendant. So, if you had any kind of a breakup problem, then try, and if you want to reunite with the partner, just try, go back and try to make up after the 13th of February, and things might turn up well for you. Moving on, and let's talk about your marital life now. Marriage is seen from the 7th house, and the owner of the 7th house is comfortably placed right now in the 10th house, and later, a little later, from the 10th and the 27th of February in the 11th house, and then in the 12th house, which is a nice movement of Mercury from the sign of Sagittarius till Aquarius, which means the which means the marital relations and the love in the marriage is going to be high, the passion is going to be high, the entertainment is going to be high. However, since Ketu is watching from Ketu is just in the 2nd house, So there might be a little expenditure because you are enjoying, and in the enjoyment, when you enjoy, you have to spend some money. So there I see a lot of expenditure happening this month on entertainment. Then let us move ahead and talk about your education. Education's prospects are very nice. Jupiter is casting a 120-degree aspect to your 5th house, which is the house of education. This is a good thing. Also, Venus is going to enter the ascendant, and it is also going to cast a 120-degree aspect from the 8th. But Venus is the 8th lord, and therefore it is a good thing if you had to take some important examination that you do it before the 15th of February. After the 15th, what is going to happen? You're going to pass, but the numbers are going to be a little less. Let's move ahead and talk about your career now. Career is seen from the 10th house. The owner of the 10th house is absolutely comfortably placed, and therefore these are blessed times for you as far as career is concerned. It is time for you to go in for a new job, to find a new job, to go in for a promotion. You will get a promotion, you will get a better job all this month, and also a few months ahead. These are good blessed times. Moving on, and let's talk about your business now. The business is seen from the 7th house, and Jupiter is aspecting the 7th house. Again, these are, as I said, blessed times. Mercury, the 7th lord, is also transiting all this month and even the next month in a wonderful situation, giving you a lot of advantage as far as business is concerned. This is time for you to explore new clients, new territories, new products, and new businesses as well. Well, this is all I had got for you for the month of February 2023. May the beneficence of God shower upon you all this month. Until I meet you in the next video, this is Prabal Frank Nandwani